Far away in Switzerland was an old man that lived in a mountain. People called him the Odd Doctor because of the strange lights that came from his mountain he lived in. But what people didn't know was that he was creating a mysterious potion that no one knows until now. The Odd Doctor grabbed his mysterious potion and went to dump it outside, but then he spilled the potion on one of his antique chairs that he made himself.
So he cleaned up the mess he had spilled on the chair and picked up the broken glass on the floor. As he cleaned up the potion, he cut himself and went to the sink. He washed his cut thoroughly and patched himself up and went to bed. When he woke up, he couldn't move. He tried to look up, but he couldn't. He tried to look down, but he also couldn't. He realized he has been infected by his own potion. So he tried to imagine what happened to him.
Then it hit him. The cut had a piece of the potion and part of his antique chair. He realized he was a chair, so he wanted to know what he could do. He fell off his bed. Then he realized he was floating. So then he tested if he could fly. And then he found out he could. So since he could fly, he wanted to go to his favorite place. So he went to McDonald's in France. When he got there, he realized he couldn't eat, so he just rested from his journey. When he did that, a nun came over and sat on him. He freaked out and flew to the nearest building with the nun on him. The nearest building he could find was a church, so he flew in and flew straight up. The nun was surprisingly not scared. He realized, so he flew back down. The nun just got up and laughed and walked away. He was confused, then he realized he was being watched by two holy priests that looked like twins. He said, "We've been expecting you, Doctor." After they said that, one of the twins started chanting something. Then everything went black for a while, and then, bam! He was surrounded by what looked like a cult worshiping him. He was as confused as ever, and he tried to yell, but he couldn't since he was a chair. One of the worshippers said it really was true. The fifth one ended up in France. Then it hit him. He was the fifth human mutant chair made. Once he found out, the twins appeared and said, "So, Doctor, you're the mutant chair that can fly, huh?" He knew he had to get out of there and fast. He tried to fly out, but he couldn't. One of the twins laughed and said, "You really think we would let you leave?" He didn't know what to do. He was trapped, but when he thought it was all over, he was as confused as ever, and he tried to yell, but he couldn't since he was a chair. One of the worshippers said it really was true. The fifth one ended up in France. Then it hit him. He was the fifth human mutant chair made. Once he found out, the twins appeared and said, "So, Doctor, you're the mutant chair that can fly, huh?" He knew he had to get out of there and fast. He tried to fly out, but he couldn't. One of the twins laughed and said, "You really think we would let you leave?" He didn't know what to do. He was trapped, but when he thought it was all over, and a man yelling, "FBI, open up!" He was surprised and happy once he saw the FBI surrounding the cultist and him. The FBI took all the cultists into custody and put him in a truck that was called Totally Not Area 51 Transport Truck. Soon enough, he sees the truck door opening and thinks, "Thank God," but soon realizes that he was in Area 51 and takes it back. Armed men come and grab him, taking him down the hallway. While they are doing that, he soon realizes he could fly again. So he flew away from their hands and went to the nearest exit. Once he got out, he heard Experiment 5 escape, lockdown from a speaker. He also saw their building get covered by a metal barrier. He flew far away from the building and thought in his head, is it all over? But it wasn't, because soon enough he saw the twin priests. The twin said, "You thought you got rid of us, huh?" He quickly flew away and luckily got away. He decided to go back home after this long, crazy journey. Once he got home, he went to his bed, and once he woke up, he was a human again. He said, "Must have been a dream."